It is another absolutely beautiful evening here in the desert. Just got done wrapping up with some training. I will be posting that video later on tonight on Patreon, and I will be discussing the importance of training, why you need to be training, why you may need to make some sacrifices and cut some things out in your life, maybe your social life, and really devote some time to your training and your physical health. Check that video out on Patreon tonight. It really helps to support the channel. But as the sun is setting, beautiful, beautiful. I want to share a few articles with you I was reading early this morning. One of them on the hedge here. Fed admits $2.3 trillion in improper payments. And when I read this article, it just reinforces to me why we're in big trouble and why the government is not going to be able to save the day. And this is why so many people are going to be in trouble, even though they believe that the government will save the day, the government will save the markets, the government will save the dollar, it will save the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're relying on the government to save you, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. This is why I'm out here today training. Since 2004, 20 large federal agencies have admitted to dispersing an astonishing $2.25 trillion. Unbelievable. And when you read articles like this and you look at numbers like this, I just think to myself, all of our small business, all of our medium business, so many households, individual households that are drowning without help. No job, no savings, no help. Last year, these improper payments totaled $175 billion. That's $15 billion per month, $500 billion per day, $1 million per minute. Look at the waste that this government has committed, and it can't even help you or I. These payments were made to the wrong persons, in the wrong amount, or for the wrong reason. Dead people were getting money, ancient people. 6 million Social Security numbers are active for people who they consider ancient. That is the age of 112 plus. Medicare and Medicaid got improper payments, and the list goes on. You didn't get a payment. I didn't get a payment. There is no doubt. You all know it. I know it. Americans, the masses, the majority are not ready for what is coming. I was reading another article, and they had taken a survey, and as you all know, 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. According to this survey, 21% say they're actually spending more during the crisis. 63% say they're spending less. Americans, it also said in this article, Americans are very weary about job security. Well, how could you not be with, we don't even know how many people are unemployed at this point. I'm estimating it's around 40 million. It could be much higher. 47% say they have run out of emergency savings. 2 in 3 Americans regret not having enough savings before this crisis started. 82% cannot afford a $500 expense if they were suddenly to face one. Could you imagine that? I mean, just think about that. 82% of this country cannot afford a $500 emergency, an expense, if they suddenly had to face an emergency. They don't have $500 saved up. That's 82% of people that took this survey. 44% say they could not support their lifestyle before this crisis. So how bad do you think it is now during the crisis? And this isn't even the bad times. This is just the beginning. We have not even seen the repercussions of closing down all this business, all the permanent closures, all the massive unemployment. What about the rent moratoriums, the forbearances when all this expires? This is going to be such a mess, ladies and gentlemen. 25% polled said they have built up over $10,000 in debt while covering their expenses. 74% said it will take their family between a few months and 2 years to recover from this shutdown. And these people are sadly mistaken because, first off, this crisis isn't even over. This economy is going to get worse, much, much worse. We're in a depression. we're going to sink deeper into a depression, and we are not going to come out of a depression in a matter of a couple months or a couple years. I mean, think about the amount of business that is permanently closed in America. Think about right now, my state, California, is shut down. What this is doing to small, medium business. This is going to be bad news for many, many years to come. And we're not even coming out of this yet. It's getting worse. We haven't even hit the bottom. I believe we're maybe in the second inning of a 9-inning game here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a long way to go, and we are not going to recover in a couple months or a couple years. Estimates for recovery, according to this article, 6 to 12 months. Again, I believe it's going to take 10 years, maybe longer, to recover from the damage that is done, because we don't even know how bad the damage really is, because we're not being told the truth. All these numbers, the employment numbers, new job numbers, unemployment numbers, it's all facade. They're not even telling us the truth. They're not even telling us what the real inflation is. So all I can say is continue to prepare. It's just unbelievable what is taking place with this economy, and it's even more unbelievable that people are not getting any help. Another article, the stock market is soaring to new heights, but most Americans aren't along for the ride. Isn't that the truth? At some point, the stock market will be affected by this economy. I do believe that the stock market will continue to go up because the Fed is going to continue to inject a lot more money into it. And we're very likely to see a depression while the stock market goes up. But at some point, these markets will be affected by the real economy because millions are reducing consumption. They're going to be forced to reduce consumption. Millions are becoming far less productive. When people aren't producing anything, when they're not going to work, when they're not bringing home a paycheck, when they cannot go out and spend, even money that they don't have because the credit cards are completely tapped out, their credit's been destroyed, this is going to be a problem for the stock market. Almost 75% of the return of the S&P 500 index for the first 11 months of this year was attributed to just 6 stocks: Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and the 2 share classes of Alphabet, which owns Google. The Dow hit 30,000 while the jobless number hits 40 million, 50 million. It doesn't even make sense, ladies and gentlemen. There are no fundamentals. Nothing even matters at this point. So I believe we are in a totally new world here, and a new world where small and medium business is being crushed, the competition is being wiped out. You are watching the destruction of a wealth transfer. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. One last thing I wanted to share with everybody. I read an article last night also on The Hedge, and it was talking about the video game industry. The video game industry in 2019 took in $90.3 billion. And when I watch what's happening to this economy, I just think about how many adult men are sitting home watching football or some sport or playing video games, watching cartoons, whatever they're doing. But $90.3 billion in the video game industry. Wow. It really makes you think about where people's priorities are today. While they're being robbed, while their wages go down, while their debts go higher, while they become debt slaves, they just sit there passively and accept it and play video games. And look, there's nothing wrong playing video games, all right? I'm not here telling anybody that you're bad because you play a video game. But there are people out there that better wake up. We have so many zombies walking around here in America, oblivious to the crimes being committed to their pensions, to Social Security, the manipulation of these markets. Look, the markets are all fun as long as they're being manipulated to the upside. But sooner or later, at some point, the plug will be pulled, ladies and gentlemen, and people are going to be decimated. People's pensions are going to be wiped out. You're going to watch a real estate crash unlike you've ever seen in America. You will watch the hyper bubble in the bond market burst. we're going to watch some historic events take place. But don't worry, don't listen to what I'm saying. I know it's scary, it might be negative, it might be very concerning. So many people will ignore the message and they will just play video games, and they will smoke weed, they will watch their cartoons, watch the reality TV, watch their football games. Again, wow, this whole thing is going down the toilet bowl. Don't be one of these people, because these people have guaranteed they will lose. They have guaranteed they will be victims of this economic collapse. So as I stand here today, I don't have the answers to everything, but one thing I will say is I can see the dangers, and I'm doing the best that I can to prepare. I'm walking the walk the best that I can, doing a little bit of training today, getting the blood pumping, and just getting out here, being productive, because security is going to be the most important asset you have next to God. So make sure that you come over to Patreon, check that video out, and look, again, sitting on the couch, playing video games, oblivious, ignoring the warning signs, ignoring the robbing of your futures, your pensions, your Social Security. I can't even believe that, how people can just accept that. And they just want to be delusional. They just want to be in denial, stick their head in the sand and ignore everything because it's too negative or too scary. The smart people are preparing diligently, and the smart people are going to win. They will prosper during the worst of times, without a doubt. And most of all, the smart people will survive. Your families will survive, you will survive, you'll have a future. But so many millions of people have no idea what's coming. So dependent and reliant on the system, dependent on that pension being there, dependent on their Social Security being there, dependent that the US dollar will still buy something. I think the US dollar is in big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I think many pensions are in very, very big trouble. And I think the United States of America is in very, very, very big trouble. And I hope that every one of you is preparing, because what is coming is going to be so, so bad. People are going to wake up one day and they're going to think they're in another world, a third world, a fourth world. Look, you've already seen the food lines. You already see the homeless. You hear how many millions of people don't have enough food right here in America. America is sounding more and more like a third world, not a first world country. And we're seeing all those people, that 1% at the very top, getting wealthier and wealthier, while the rest of the people down below aren't getting nothing. They're not even getting crumbs at this point. So what that means is you better worry about you. You better worry about your family. There's no time to blame the banks, blame corporations, blame the government, because when the bottom falls out of this thing, people are going to be desperate for security, for safety, for food, for money, real money. I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful week. Stay productive. Walk close to God, ladies and gentlemen. Look, markets will probably continue to surge this week as they are waiting for massive stimulus. Very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. These markets are addicted to massive artificial injections. In other words, massive debt. We're going to see such massive debt coming in 2021. If you thought the debt was big right now, you have seen nothing yet. They are going to destroy what's left of the dollar, and this is going to destroy a lot of people's lives, and this is going to really, really damage America for many, many years to come. And I don't even know if America can recover at this point. We've lost so much purchasing power. We've lost so many businesses, so much manufacturing. Look, I hate to be so pessimistic, but I'm a realist, and we all better start looking out for ourselves, because all you can do is depend on you, because look, this thing's going to get bad, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Have a good rest of the week. Talk to all of you very, very soon.